What's going on, everyone? I'm Steve from Burke Family 54 Comics, and in today's video, we have a CGC unboxing to do. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and tell your friends, and consider joining the Burke fam. I already know what the grades are of these books, and I gotta say, I am shocked at the grades that I got. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna fast forward as I unbox this. We're gonna see what's in it. Let's go. Okay, we have a 5-book CGC unboxing. We're gonna get right to it. This first book is the one that I am shocked about the grades. So I submitted 5 books. I kind of already knew the grades for most of them, but there were 2 books that I kind of can't believe the grades that they got. But shout out to my presser, comicbook_pressing on Instagram. When I submitted it to him, I thought this book was gonna be let's go ahead and show it off. This is Edge of Spider-Verse #2, the first appearance of Spider-Gwen. I won this from Alley Collectibles on Instagram. They are a consignment dealer. They also buy books as well. I won this book from them. Obviously, I got it for free for the 20,000 follower giveaway. I don't think they're actually there yet. They gave away a UF4, First Miles Morales, and then Edge of Spider-Verse #2, First Spider-Gwen. I won this book. I thought it was like an 8.5 to 9.2, somewhere in that range. Everyone I talked to when I submitted them pictures, when I got the book, I talked to like 4 or 5 people. I talked to Mark Spector Comics. I talked to Sector 2815, Mike V, a bunch of people, and everyone thought it was right around between 8.5 to 9.2. When I submitted it to my presser, he's like, actually, when I got done pressing it, I actually think it could be a pretty high grade book. And I was pretty shocked to see that it got the grade of a 9.8. That's what's up, dude. I'm about $35 into this book after getting it pressed and graded. I got it pressed from my presser, again, comicbook_pressing on Instagram. 9.8. That's awesome. I'm doing pretty well on this book. First appearance of new Spider-Woman, Spider-Gwen. This is the first printing. I'm going to take a look at the case. There is a chip at the bottom. Well, I'll throw up a picture of that. That sucks. But I may not worry about it because it's on the very bottom. This is not the first time I've seen something in their slabs. There are still some waves on the back. I'm assuming that's just always been there. But he was able to get out a lot of the stuff that I had issues with. Doesn't sit in there exactly straight, but I think that's pretty normal for CGC books. But yeah, 9.8. I cannot believe this grade on this book. That's insane. That's insane. Doing pretty well in that book because I think it's going for like $800. So to be just like $30, $35, maybe even $40 into the book, I'm doing pretty well. Next book up is actually the other book I was thinking about that I can't believe the grade on. Now, I have already submitted this to CGC in a 9.8 pre-screen, and it was rejected. Having said that, I thought this book would still get a 9.8, and I got it from my good friend Mike V a while ago. This is Batman 655, the Kubert variant. First appearance of Damian Wayne and cameo. This is a pretty expensive book. I paid a decent amount for it. I'm sure you guys are seeing how much I paid on the screen versus how much it's worth. I thought this would get a 9.8, even though it has some color rub on the back. I don't know. I really still thought it would get a 9.8. But it actually got a 9.6. So that's a little frustrating, I'll be honest. I really wanted a 9.8. The difference in price between a 9.6 and 9.8 in this book is pretty significant. Now, I did not plan on selling it, so I'm not like super worried about like how much, I'm not super worried about the fact that it's a 9.6 and 9.8. I definitely wish it was, but you know, it is what it is at this point. But I still think it's a pretty rare book, and I still don't know how it got a 9.6. Like, I understand it has some color rub on the back, but you know, if you asked me between this book and the last book, which one would get a 9.8, I would have said this one all day long. So it is what it is. It is what it is. And now the next couple books I kind of already assumed the grade that they got would be the grade they actually received. This first book I got from a con, like a small con, a couple years ago. This is Flash number 92. I actually have two copies of this. I have a reader's copy that was given to me by Berto, Flash 6792. And then I have this book that I thought would hit a 9.8, and it did hit a 9.8. So that's what's up. First appearance of Impulse, Flash number 92, purple cover. Pretty sweet. So far, no issues outside of that first book, having just a little piece of, I guess, plastic on the inside. It's not really glass. No like real issues so far. So next book up. This book I got, I think, for like 10 or 20 bucks at Fountain City Comic Con in Kansas City. I did get it pressed from again, comic book _ pressing on Instagram. I thought it would hit a 9.8, even without the press, honestly. But you know what? Let's go ahead and get it pressed. And it got a 9.8. This is Superman Man of Steel number 18, the first appearance of Doomsday. This is the first printing. Pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. No issues with this book either. It's kind of tight in there a little bit. It moves around a little bit. It moves around a little bit. But yeah. Superman's from Kansas. I live in Kansas. Had to get it right. Like, at some point I need to get this graded too. I got a bunch of Superman books I need to get graded. So, and then the last book, I'm actually pretty surprised about this book. I'll be honest. I really thought that this book would hit a 9.8. In fact, this is probably the one book that, outside of the first book, that I'm actually the most shocked about. I bought this book from my good friend Ray over at Fair Comics. He no longer does business. I got it for 40 bucks. This is Infinite Crisis number 5, first Jaime Reyes Blue Beetle. I really thought it was a 9.8 all day long. But I guess there's some stuff on the back maybe that I didn't see. I don't know, I'm looking. The corner, I guess, isn't super sharp. But yeah, this hit a 9.6. So lost some money on this book. It is what it is. Another DC key. I don't plan on selling any of these, so it's not like it's a huge deal of what they're worth, but I definitely lost money on this book if let's say I died tomorrow and, you know, my wife needed to sell this, you know what I mean? It is what it is though, but I was definitely shocked to see that this got a 9.6 instead of a 9.8. So I really thought this would get a 9.8, man. I mean, I really did. But, you know, my presser, Eric, comic book _ pressing, he's like, man, I don't think that's a 9.8. And I was like, what am I missing? What am I missing? I think it's a 9.8 candidate all day long. And he was right. Maybe there's something on the inside. I don't know. Like, I already looked at try to pull up the grader's notes, and there's nothing. There's nothing. So I still don't know, you know, what's going on. I mean, there's a little bit of color rub on the side. It is a black cover on the back. But I mean, I don't know. I have 9.8s that look worse than this. So I guess you win some and you lose some. But overall, I do think I did pretty well. Obviously, when you win a book and it comes back a 9.8, that's a pretty significant book. It's going to look great next to my Ultimate Fallout 4. But now I feel like I got to get my UF4 and a 9.8 because a 9.6 and a 9.8 next to each other that are kind of like matching books with Spider-Gwen and Miles Morales not matching. Not a huge fan of that. So we'll see what we do. We will see what we do. But that's today's video. Again, I'm Steve from Burke Family 54 Comics. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think about today's video. What do you guys think about the books? All of that and more. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. And as always, go Cats.
Cowabunga. It's morphin' time.